once again in our wonderful adventures on how to read the tarot. Always wondered about how to pronounce it in English, actually. I've been reading for 11 years and mostly in Mexico, so usually I don't say the word in English. So when it comes to actually pronouncing it in English, it's kind of like tarot. Anyways, we left off on the High Priestess last video, and then I said I'll make another video about it, and I'll just round it up for you. But really, honestly, truly, if you search my videos, I did 2 English language versions of Saint Death, and there's absolutely no reason to delve deeper into that, because that's pretty much what it's about. So if you want to learn more about the High Priestess from me, I recommend you watch my video Saint Death Explained, which is on the same channel, and take it from there. And you'll get everything you need from that card. Now, before I go on, I want to also mention that I really need you guys to do this exercise of sitting in front of each card for a month. 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes at night. It's the least you can do if you're going to study this art with me, and it's not that hard. Well, it is hard. It is a lot of time involved, and it's a big commitment and all that stuff. Oh, and before I actually get to the cards, I want to present to you the star of the show. This would be Cerebro. Cerebro is the proud father of, let me see, 8, 16, 34, 42, 50, about 60 children. Some of them are from his original wife, which was Pinky, and some are from the daughter, one of his daughters, and then one of his granddaughters. So this little mouse here has had some serious interaction in the procuring a mice department, and he is kind of like my helper in all things tarot and stuff. And okay, so let's get on to it. Today's cards: the Empress, the Emperor, the High Priest, and the Lovers, and they are all related. I'm going to throw this rat on I'm going to throw this rat here. Just leave it on the table, I guess. It'll just pee on me. I hate when rats pee on me. It's not fun. When I have a shower today, but I don't have any clean clothes. It's been a disaster. Nobody's gone up to have their cards read today. One client all day long. Happens like that in the tarot business. You gotta be patient, and most of all, remember that it's not for you. You're doing it. It's for your clients. It's a service. Okay, there's one of the ones we're looking for. Another one we're looking for. Separating here. These are the ones that don't go, and these are the ones that do. And I'm looking for the Lovers. I'm looking for the Empress. And she's kind of hiding from me today. I don't know. At the end of this show, I'm going to give you the octopus. There we go. Here she is. There's the ones we're looking for today. The cards we'll be talking about today. The Empress is the first one. Well, at the end of the show, I'll be talking to you about my own deck and how to build your own deck, and you know how it's done. And here's the mouse. On a mouse, I can also get you that to you. I don't know what the duties is on mice across the states and Mexico, but I'm sure you can get your mouse out there if you really want one of these mice. They buy 10 pesos, it's about $5 worth of mouse. The Empress. The Empress. You will notice that she is sitting on some cushions with a white dress and some crown of stars on her head, little scepter there on her hand, a shield that is the symbol of female symbol with a heart on her heart. Basically, we were talking about the progression of the soul as being the soul that descends as the fool, then takes dominion over his or her essence and becomes the magician, then discovers the feminine secrets, the secrets of being in touch with nature, which is the high priestess of Mother Nature, nonetheless. And then the high priestess realizes that she is empty inside. She has a womb, and that womb needs to be filled with something. And that something that needs to be filled is the act of creation in its purest form, the act of childbearing. And the Empress therefore takes the role of the cosmic mother, the cosmic childbearer, but also the sustainer, the nurturer of the child. And that is why she is crowned with the stars. So I tried to finish this video last night, and I got a lot of clients and I couldn't do it. So I'm doing early in the morning, which is about the only time they can really make these videos that make sense. Anyways, we're talking about this person right here, the Empress. And we're looking at her symbology of her dress. You know, the same flower that she has on her dress is the flower, or it's like a berry, berries, type of berry. It's the same berries that she has in her tail on the devil card, because it means the abundance of food. Food was a very important thing in the Middle Ages. It was not so easy to get, so food images keep cropping up in the tarot because it represents abundance. The stars, obviously, there's an interesting anecdote about the Coatlicue, which is the mother figure in Mexico, the Tonantzin Guadalupe. She was bedecked with stars, but she was also the mother to the stars, and the stars were the different gods. I guess in the time of the polytheism, there was many gods, not one. The stars were the representatives of gods. That's why the planets have the names of Greek gods. Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, etc., because in the olden days, when we were closer to the gods, well, we saw them on the sky all the time. We saw them out there in the sky all the time. We're no longer doing that because we've kind of forgotten what it was all about, which is not saying that we're less civilized, but it is saying that we're not as in touch with the spirits and gods of nature and of the natural world. So the Empress is the perfect mother. There's 4 mothers in the tarot cards: the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. And each mother represents an aspect of being a mother. And when that aspect... Oh, by the way, the fly comes in and flies into my nose. I want you to know that there is a Lord of the Flies. His name is Beelzebub. Lord of the butterflies too, and of the fruit flies and all the flies. Beelzebub has a lot of little spies around here, which are little flies. So when you say something or you do something that makes a fly come in and land on you, you can be certain that something you said or you thought will take you to will be remembered by or will be noted by Beelzebub, which is one of the archdukes or princes of hell. So how seriously you take that stuff really depends on you, but you know, if you do enough psychedelics like I have, you take it very seriously. Anyways, your mother. This card represents your mother, any mother, the perfect mother, the mother that combines all the other elements of the four mothers into one perfect maternal figure. And she is kind of like this earth mother figure, which tends to the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs of their children's. But she is also the perfect wife, because back in the olden days when the world still made sense, you know, if you had a family, you had the daddy, you had the mommy, and you had all the kiddies, and they formed one group, which no longer happens. Somewhere along the line we forgot about that. I don't think it's so random myself. I think it's very guided. The family gets in the way of the control of the masses, because the family protects its members against whatever government or institution or you know, your mother will hide you from the police. Your father will hide you from the police most of the time. If they are good parents, they would do that. But you know, if they're not your parents, or if there's not a strong unity, your brothers and sisters should hide you from the police. But if there's no strong unity, then the police has an easier time of getting at you. And that's why authoritarian governments want to destroy the family, because it stands in the way of being able to control people. But I'm getting off subject here. I just want to mention that the symbols... Look, when you study the tarot, I'm not going to give you all the symbols, man. I'm going to give you some hints and tell you what symbols you can see here. Yeah, but there's a lot of symbols, like, you know, there's a lot of pine trees on this card, but there is also a birch. What looks like a birch, I think it is. You have to figure out why. You got to figure out what they were trying to say with that symbol. And that's part of the trip, where I tell you, just look at the card for 1 month until you get it to speak to you. The scope of these videos is not sufficiently large, or I don't have sufficient time with each card to really go into all the symbols. But the idea that I want you to get is that these symbols are all there, and that's how they can answer the questions for your clients. When you're reading the cards, you got to be very clear that it is a for-profit business. Here's a little rant I have to go into before we go into the Emperor card. The cards are meant as a tool to help you resolve problems for people. There isn't a divinatory magic aspect to them. You will find that, you know, You will know who's pregnant and who's not pregnant. You will know who's been, cheating on their spouse and who hasn't. You will know who murdered somebody. You will know who stole somebody. Because there's certain cards that are very definite guide stones to guilt in these type of events. You will learn how to find missing children with the cards. But besides that, or in spite of that, you have to also have a certain common sense guide to help you help the people that are coming to your store, to your shop, to have their cards read. You can't expect these people to, come back to your store or come back to have their cards read if what you say to them doesn't help them. I mentioned in the previous video, I think, there's two types of tarot readers. Charlatans, whose only interest is to benefit economically from their victims, which is the bad guys. And then there's the sincere reader who wants to help his client. Of the two types, the charlatans will have to move around a lot. They'll do a lot of damage in one town, and then they'll go to the next town, and the good readers will probably stay right where they are. The good readers are probably going to be, family people that have families in their towns, and that they know a lot of people. A lot of people know them. The old gypsy woman that has, lots of folks living around her, and they all look at her like some type of guru because she's always solving people's problems. You're going to get up, down, and personal with a lot of personal problems in a lot of families around your neighborhood. People are going to know that you're the one that told the wife to leave that bastard because he was cheating on her, or, and some people won't like it, but the people that actually benefit from it will protect you from the ones that don't. That's the theory behind being a good tarot reader. Anyways, you are a doctor healing people's hearts. You're a doctor of hearts, a heart doctor. Not the physical heart, but the spiritual heart. And your job is to make lives better, which means that the first client that you have to deal with is yourself, like any good psychiatrist. So, tarot is in part, I would say about 40% to 30%, kind of like amateur psychology, and you have to deal with issues, all the time that you could probably see it very simple just on the way that people act. Observing your clients is what it's all about, and you can tell them that. You say, look, I'm here to help you, but I got to be able to dialogue with you. A lot of clients will just want to know if you have the gift to divinate, and they won't let you ask questions. But eventually, if you do have the gift to divinate, they will allow you to penetrate deeper into their lives in the obvious effort to help them. Alright, enough pontificating. I'm going to pontificate about pontificate in a minute, but let's go on to the next card, which is the Emperor. Alright, let's take a look at what he's got here. Body armor. I don't know if you guys ever put a suit of armor on, like this cat has on, shoes, armor, but they're heavy. They can weigh as much as 60 pounds, maybe 100 pounds, 120 pounds, and they're uncomfortable. They creak your bones and they pinch you, and it's really not an easy thing to wear a suit of armor. So why would somebody be wearing a suit of armor just to have also what an uncomfortable chair? It's made out of stone, Why would somebody wear a suit of armor just to be around? Because in the olden days, the function of the emperor primarily was a military function. It was a war function. That is also shown in the fact that the chair that the throne, because it's a throne, he's got a throne there. The throne of the emperor has these little ram figures on the top and on the bottom of the throne. You can see them, these little ram guys. Well, that represents Aries, and Aries, as you know, the planet of Aries is Mars, and Mars, as you know, is the god of war. So we know that the emperor is a fighter. He's a guy that will go out there into the battlefield and battle the bad guys. But he is also the father figure, the most excellent, the most important father figure in the deck. The father is the protector. He's the guy that will stand in front of the house, of the break-in, of the banditos breaking in, and try to defend his family before anybody. Look at this little interesting scepter that he carries. Well, the scepter of the emperor looks suspiciously like an ankh, which is an Egyptian scepter. There is no vegetation behind him. There's just mountains, and it's not day or night. It's dawn or it's either sunrise or sunset. We're not sure which, but it's the same kind of like the in-between time between day and night. The color red, obviously symbolizing the passions, because he is a passionate man. He is the defender of the realm. He is the gatekeeper to the realm. He is the guy that will give order, and order is his thing. He orders things around. He's a difficult guy. He's a guy that handles out justice in the family. He's the guy that makes sure that everybody has what to eat, and he's strong like a rock. That's why all these symbols of rocks and stones around him, you know. And he is old. His beard is white. If you look at the Empress, she's young, and she's young and pretty. And this is an old lecherous man with a white beard like Santa Claus, with his crown on his head, and he is old because he is the leader of the couple. Look, I'm not against women's lib and all that. I'm not a conservative Bahu like Pat Buchanan or something, but in the tarot, most of the advice that you're going to give is of a conservative nature, because the cards themselves are very conservatively written. The figures in the cards demonstrate an older woman with a younger, an older man with a younger woman as the Emperor and the Empress. And let's be honest, I mean, if you're the Emperor of Rome and you got a chance to, well, if you're the Caesar and you got a chance to marry somebody, you're not going to marry somebody your own age, you're going to marry somebody younger. It's just common sense. A certain common sense that is no longer available to us in our modern education. So, it's not that the cards are chauvinist, or, you know, that the cards benefit men over women, but they are conservative. They are saying that women have a certain function and men have a certain function. The functions are not the same. The function of women is to be mothers and nurturers and wives and to obey their husbands. And the function of a man is to provide and protect and love their wives. So the couple in the cards, the king and queen in the cards, are very traditional based. Also, since the cards were found for the first time in the 14th century in Rome and in Italy and in Spain, we have to assume that part of the imagery is based on the Catholic ethos, which is very conservative. So, I'm not against women's lib, but as a tarot reader, you have to go with the flow, and the flow is the common sense kind of the husband and the wife and the kids are going to be together, and marriage is important, and a wife is going to be taking care of the kids at home, and the husband is going to be working and making sure that the kids have food on the table. It's a whole holistic view of the family that is very ancient and that somehow has been lost along the way. Okay. Both these cards represent kind of the same thing, mom and pop, and whenever you pull them out, 99% of the time they're going to be either mother or father of the client that you're dealing with. If the mother or the father is dead, it represents some type of unresolved issue with the mother or the father that needs to be resolved in life. 99% of the time is the real mother and the real father that you're going to be dealing with in the reading. So let's go on to card number 5. Oh, very interesting, by the way. In these cards, the Rider White, the Empress is first, and then the Emperor, and there's a reason for that. The OTO, which is the group that was behind the building of these cards, or behind the drawing of these cards, to a certain extent, were Orientalists, and they were very much into this whole idea that women are more in touch with God than men. That men are not the best form of priests, but that the high priestess is before the high priest because she is more important. If you go to the pagan religions of Europe and other places, but principally Europe, you will find that the women were the witch doctors. They were the shamans, and they were the ones in charge of healing people. In Mexico too, and many places it was like that, because they are better healers. So the secrets of the religion of God and all that stuff was principally handed down to women, not to men, and therefore the high priestess takes predominance over the high priest, and the Empress takes predominance over the Emperor. Now let's talk about this fellow with the triple crown, the high priest, or hierophant, or pope. All three words meaning more or less the same thing. The bridge between the mundane and the material. Another figure wearing red with white on the bottom. His crown is made of gold. He's got the triple cross, which is not a symbol of Christianity, by the way. If they tell you that's a Christian symbol, tell them, oh, get up, give it up, you pagans. Catholic Church is the most pagan organization on the planet. That's very good. Anyways, the two pillars, Joachim and Boaz, are now gray. They have coalesced into the pillars of the Temple of Solomon. The ones that Joachim and Boaz are the pillars of the Temple of Solomon. Here they are just pillars. Here they're just holding up the roof. Very nondescript throne. On the bottom here we see the keys of the kingdom of hell and heaven, which is a symbol of the Pope and of the Vatican. a couple of bishops with their hair. Don't you guys just love those haircuts? I mean, good grief, man. Maybe just the haircut alone would make me want to not go into that church. But anyways, there's the figure of the two devotees. Everybody's a male here. They're all males. But they're not. In fact, the act of becoming celibate, desexualizing religion and all that stuff, represents the act of surrendering to God as a wife. The church considers herself the wife of God. I mean, come on, guys. You worry about pederasty in the Catholic Church when they are considering themselves the wife of Jesus Christ, and they wear in red dresses to represent just that, their union with Christ. Any surprises there? I mean, are you really surprised what's going on there? No. The fundamental facts of the matter are that the very, very Christian Catholic symbols in this card were imposed to a certain extent by the church. The Visconti deck, the Viscontis were popes. The Visconti Sorsa, the Pope families. So there's no surprises there. It's just plain and simple Roman dominion over the world. Pax Romana is what it's all about. The Vatican, obviously, there's the keys to the Vatican. And if we take the larger perspective of the deck, and we're looking now at the progression of the soul, comes down as a fool, with no agenda, no intentions, nothing to do, nowhere to go, beginner's mind. Gets an intention through becoming the magician, which is kind of like the shaman, the guy that goes and does and moves and shakes. Then reconnects with God as the high priestess, because she realizes, the secrets of the earth are divine. And from that moment, the couple becomes the most important. It becomes the essence. The Empress and the Emperor are two parts of one reality. The soul is androgynous. It can be male or female, and it can take a male body or a female body, depending on what it needs, to learn the next step in its reconnecting with the source, which is God. But experiencing the body of a male and experiencing the body of a female as parents and as ordinary human beings, well, it's very different, isn't it? I mean, you can't really see the world as a woman if you're a man, and you can't really see the world as a man if you're a woman. You can be very gay and cross-dress and all that stuff, but if you got a pecker, you got a pecker, and if you got a panocha, you got a panocha. And nothing's going to change that. So here, this guy is trying to reconnect with the female secrets of the high priestess, which is closer to God, for being closer to the fool, which is the one that doesn't have any intention, is just being present to what is in the world. But he's already tasted the female as a human, and he liked it, and that's why he has to fight against it with celibacy. In purely a divinatory and as answers to the questions of your clients. When you pull the Pope out, it's always a positive card. It's going to resolve a problem. He's a good guy that is coming in to help you. He's a wise man. He's a man that is not your father, but is going to act like a spiritual father to you, and he's going to help you out. So it's a good card. The Triple Crown, well, it's, you know, the three realms. He's got a crown in each realm. He's got dominion over the three realms. The scepter, the triple cross, you know, the same type of thing. What else do I have to say about this card? Oh, this little symbol right here. He's got his hand like this, which means the union between man and God. And we'll see something about the fingers like this and like this and like that and like that in a minute with other cards. I just wanted to show you guys another little interesting detail here. If you look at this neck, well, it's blue. And it's blue because he's got a coat of mail, a chain mail, under the robe, which means that he is also a warrior. Let us remember that the cardinals in Rome put on the red robes because they are willing to shed their blood for the church. They're willing to die. You have to wonder, though, they're willing to die. Are they willing to kill? Are they holy warriors? Well, the Templars certainly were. Didn't have any bones about it. They went in to take your head off. Okay, I think I've said enough about the Pope, or the High Priest, or the Hierophant, the bridge between man and God. A very positive card. Numerical value of 5. How interesting, isn't it? The 5 in the tarot is the worst card you can get. Yet in the minor arcana and the major arcana, it's the best card. One of the best cards you can get. So, go figure. And the final card for today, the final card of this discussion. My favorite card, because I'm such a horny guy. The Lovers. Oh, I can see his penis. Look, he's got a penis. Oh my God, she's got boobs and a vagina. You can't really see there. Oh, they're naked. They're naked. Ah! Get me out of here. The Lovers. Carnality. The angel here would be Cupid. Cupid is the guy responsible for making people fall in love with each other. And somehow, you know, the mount over there, you can pretty much tell what it looks like. There's no secret there. It's like, oh yeah, that mount looks like a penis, man. Yeah, well, duh. Very interesting little detail here. Look at, you can see Cupid, which is an angel or a devil, and how you relate to him. And above him, you can see the sun shining brightly, which means that it has God's approval. God approves of this relationship. Yeah. Interesting detail. Look at the serpent on the tree over there. Oh yeah, there's our friend. The serpent is saying, "Oh yeah, go at it, I'll grab the video camera." And the fruit on the tree of the woman is going to be the same fruit that I'm going to see in another card pretty soon, which is the devil card, and then the burning bush behind the man. The burning bush representing passion, the passion of man. Men get pretty wild about women. You know, they get pretty crazed. The angel has kind of like these between leaves and fire on his head, which means that he is a spiritual but also energetic entity related to the sun. Let us remember that the spirits of the jinn in the Quran and in the Hadiths are made out of fire. They're fire beings. Iblis, the devil, is made out of fire. You're gonna go rot in hell in a lake of fire and brimstone, says the Bible. Well, if you read the Quran, it makes perfect sense, because he's made out of fire, so it's probably a very comfortable place for him. Duh. Go back to what you are, you know. Anyways, the sun, as God, is also made out of fire. Energy, pure energy. Energy. With intention. Intentional energy. And love, oddly enough, is represented by fire, because it is a kind of passion or pressure to do something together and to be in love. In purely advenatory terms, this card is the essence of love. Does my husband love me? And you pull out the lovers. Oh yes, he does, but careful, because if my husband loves me really, 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 he may actually pull out the Emperor or the Empress, representing the union that has already been avowed by the church. And when the lover card comes out, these guys are not married yet. They will be. They are going in that realm of marriage where love is no longer a necessity, but it's very polite to love your husband, but actually it's a compromise between you and another person of the opposite sex and God. And the lovers represent actually the passion that a man feels for a woman and a woman feels for a man, and that passion is somehow legitimate, real, correct, and it doesn't infringe upon the sacredness of a man-female union. Well, oddly enough, these guys are naked, but the angel is not. Well, how does that work, Mr. Angel? Well, because I'm just the cameraman. I'm just making sure the video works. I'm not going to do anything. You know, I worked for John Leslie in about 4 or 5 movies, and my job was to be a towel boy. If you don't know what a towel boy is in a porn movie, you better go and ask your local porn movie maker, because it's not the most it's just old times and another world that I lived in. But what was I mentioning? Oh yeah, passion. In the porn movies, you see the actors, huffing and puffing and stuff. They don't give a shit. They are cold, calculative, just doing their job. They're not really into it, most of them. Especially the women. And sometimes they get into it, but they don't usually enjoy it, to say the least. Because in the porn movies, it's not an act of love. It's more like a physical stamina test. There's another card that will go into that, which is the devil card. This is not the case. There is, in this union between these two people, real love, real concern, real compassion between them. They really, really do care, the one for the other. And that's the beauty of it. When you pull the love card, the person that you're thinking about really does care about you, and you care about him. It's a mutual thing. It's an even Steven. So, if you have any questions about these videos, do not hesitate to call me or to get in touch with me via Facebook or YouTube. If you buy a Rider White deck from my shop, the cost is $30 plus shipping and handling. You will receive with your cards a little letter from me that says that from now on until you stop reading cards, you will be my apprentice for life, which means that you'll have the right to try to contact me through these social networks and ask whatever questions you may have about how to read the cards. Now, all of those you who have bought my decks in the past and consider yourself my apprentice, if my apprentice doesn't do the 1 year and 10-month exercise that I recommend on the first video, you are useless as an apprentice and you won't be able to do anything right. If you do not study each card 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the night for 1 month, you will not know the card as I know the card. That's a fact. Take it to bank. Okay? So, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.